Okay, I got the steering box on. It went on pretty smoothly. Got it all bolted up. It's nice and tight. I got the bracket for the clutch. So that went on smoothly. That's good to go. Now I've moved on to the master cylinder. You can see this wrench here, and I've got it taped. It's because I'm working by myself, and I've got to tighten it from the inside, so hopefully this will hold it together when it turns. So that's what I'm doing now. So we'll get that on, and then we can get the master cylinder and the booster on it. So that worked perfectly. I got the bolt on nice and tight, so that worked. Move on to the next part. Okay, I got the master cylinder in. It went in pretty smooth. I didn't tighten the master cylinder yet. It's just kind of finger tight. I may pull that off when I pull the motor. There's plenty of room, I think, but just in case, I can pull it off if I need to. But anyway, that's about all I'm going to do to this. So now we're going to move on to the next thing, which I don't know what it is going to be yet. I'm going to have to look on the list. Okay, so I got the truck up on the lift. I pulled the wheels off, and I'm working on the front end alignment. These are what I made for the buggy, if you remember. I've got it lined up, I think, pretty good. I had to go out and get some washers under here to get the pin to go through. The nut has to come up a little bit, so I need some washers there. This side of the drag link here this one was a little tight from just where it was rusted before, but I finally got it loose, so I've got it spinning freely enough to move everything. But anyway, I'm getting the front end aligned. I'm going to drop it before I put this drag link in between the pitman arm and the steering knuckle. So it looks like it's coming together good, so I'm just going to keep working on it, get it all assembled, drop it back down, check it, and I think we're going to be pretty good. Okay, I got most of the front end back together. I've got the steering arm in, the pitman arm, it's all good, it's all tight. I think I'm at a good stopping point here. So I think what I'm going to do is prep the inside of the cab for paint so I can get the steering column back in it permanently. That way I can move it and steer it and everything. So I think I'm going to do that. First step was to take the windshield out, which I'm working on. This rubber that goes around, holds on, it is so brittle, hard. It's like a rock. So my plan was to come out here with a knife and cut it out and pull the window out. But actually I'm having to take a chisel and chisel through this, and it just breaks off. It's so hard and brittle. I have a new windshield, so I'm not worried about the window. I haven't broken it yet, but it is just in there super hard. And luckily there's no rust in there. It looks nice inside. So anyway, I'm just going to keep chiseling this off all the way around the whole thing, and then try to get the window out. And that'll be the first step. I have to take out the back window too, and then I think I'm going to work on the roof. There's some rust spots up there, so I'll work on those, and then we'll prep the inside for paint. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It all chiseled out pretty easy, actually, because it's so hard. You can see all the broken pieces on the ground. I mean, it's literally rock hard. And the windshield's already loose. Comes out, so I think I can pull it out. It's funny, it's one of those things, I don't care about this window. I was hitting it with a chisel, and I hit it with a hammer a few times, and it didn't break at all. So if I wanted to save it, I would have broke it. But since I didn't care about it, it didn't get damaged at all. So let me get that out, then I'll pull the rest of the rubber out. Okay, the rubber on the back was pliable, so I was able to take a knife and just go around that. So I went around the whole thing, came out nice and easy. So now I'm by myself, and I'm going to try to pull on the glass from the inside and pull it in. I think I can get a hold of the rubber and pull it. I want to keep this piece, so the front one came out with the hammers and everything else, and I didn't break it, so I'll probably break this one. But this is just a flat piece of glass, so if I do, I can get this locally. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm going to try to save it, but we'll see. Okay, I got the back window out without breaking it. It went pretty smooth, and I also managed to get my dash cover off. You can see, and you can see how green the original paint was. You can see on the lower dash, it's more like a kind of a turquoise, I guess it's going to turn, but that is original paint there, and it's pretty nice shape there. So anyway, I got the pad off, so I guess next I'll pull the gauges and the switches. Okay, so I got my gauge cluster out. I got the instruments out of it. What I'm doing now while I have it out, and I just took it out, I'm going to go ahead and make room for my new gauges. They're going to go right here on each side. I've drilled one out already, as you can see. And I'm going to drill this one out. I'm just dropping these gauges in. I'm not using this one, I'm using the other two. But anyway, those are going to drop in. I'm going to paint it black around that edge, and that'll drop in, and it'll look similar to the original gauge. I don't have the exact hole size, so after I cut these, I'm going to have to sand them out just a little bit more to get it to drop in. So, which is good. That way it has a nice tight fit. So that's what I'm working on. Oh, fucker. Alright, this is my first filming accident, apparently. When I was cutting that, you probably saw it spun around and hit, and it crushed the corner here. Pretty good. I can work it back out. It's not going to be that big of a deal, but kind of a bummer. It was perfect, so I guess now I'm going to try to work this back into shape. Okay, I managed to get that back in shape. It wasn't too bad. I still got to work it a little bit more, but it's pretty good. It's pretty flat, so it's not a total disaster. It's not as perfect as it was, but that's life. We can live with it. And I got the hose reamed out for the gauges, so both sides are reamed out. So I'll do a little bit more work on this and try to get it as perfect as I can, and then we'll move on and put this in the clean and paint pile. Okay, I've had this bowling ball anvil for a while, and it's really came in handy on this bent dash because it goes over it perfectly, and it allowed me to hammer and smooth it out and get it pretty straight, I think. Looks pretty good. There's a little bit of flat spot right here. I think I'm just going to grind it a little bit. It's not much, but it's hard to pick up on the camera, but there is a little flat spot. But other than that, I think it's fine. The glass fits in it now, so I'm going to clean it up and it'll be ready for paint. Okay, I got everything out of the cab. All the gauges and switches and everything extra, the visors, everything's out, so it's ready to start prepping for paint. But the two things I want to do first, there's a rust hole in the front there on that cab, but today, that piece you just saw me welding up, I want to try to smooth this out a little bit across that ridge across there. To do that, I had a ground rod there, and this was the old shackle from one of the rear springs. I pulled that out, I can get it to focus. It's got a slight taper on it. You can kind of see it's not flat anymore across it. And I tried to get as close to this contour right there as possible. So I'm going to go in on the inside and start hammering that out with this. And hopefully this shape will kind of fit that, and hopefully we'll get that closer. It's going to be a lot of work right here because it's actually creased right there. So it's going to be a little harder, but I think across here I can make it work with this. But we're going to try it. I'm going to make another tool for this once I get it a little better, once I get it roughed in, and then I'll make another tool. But go ahead and get started, and again, I'm going to start hopefully making that better. Okay, that tool I made worked really well. You can see it's starting to straighten up there. That line's looking pretty straight. On the very top, it's still rough along the top. I've got to work it more from the inside. But as from what it was, it's much, much better. So I can keep working it. I did all I can do today. I'm having back spasms. My back's hurting pretty bad. I'm kind of sounding like the lady that fell off the grapes, if you know that video, when she was stomping grapes and fell. I've yelled like that several times today because my back just is giving me fits. But anyway, I got that, the roof on the front too. I explored that a little bit. It's got more holes than I thought. You can see I'm starting to explore about it in there. So that's going to kind of be a pain in the ass to work on, but I'll work that here this week too. But anyway, we're making progress. Okay, you can see it's starting to come along pretty good. Fairly happy with it now, really. I'm going through. Doesn't show up on camera that well, but there's still some dents here. So on the bottom side, I'm reaching through and I'm marking where I still need to hammer up. There's a little spot there. I think there's another spot right here, and this section right here is still down. It's still kind of oil canning right now, so hopefully that'll pop up. And over here, I can hammer and dolly from the top side down. It's pretty good. So overall, I'm pretty happy. Like I said, I'm not trying to get this perfect. I just wanted it better than it was, so it didn't have that big crease. So now visually, this kind of, I'm gonna call it a duckbill. It's somewhat uniform, so it's kind of okay, so I can live with it. I'm just gonna work this area a little bit more, try to get this, and then I gotta weld up these holes. But overall, probably another hour, hour and a half I'll have this as good as I'm going to get it. So, okay, I had a hammer on this section right here a little bit to smooth it out, and it's kind of concave, and so I didn't have a hammer for that, so I ended up taking a piece of pipe and welding it to another pipe, making a little quick hammer out of it. So that's why I used to hammer that to try to keep that shape in it. So, okay, I'm pretty happy with the way I have this for now. I'm going to work it a little bit more, but I want to weld on the roof a little bit in case it shrinks, moves, but for the most part, it's okay. If this was a show car, I'd do a lot more, but for a work truck, it's looking pretty good. I put 3M tape, double-sided tape on the inside on the holes, and I just cut out little plugs that I laid in there, so they're kind of setting in place, held. So now I'll just weld around those, sand those down, and then it's going to be harder to reach that front one. I have to do it from the front. I think I can get these. But anyway, we're going to weld these holes up now, and then we'll finish all this and the roof will be done. Okay, I was able to get all the holes in the top of the roof patched. So that went pretty smoothly. So now, the rest of the weekend, I'm going to work on getting these holes around the drip edge. Try to get those patched. I got 2 days to get that done, so that's going to be the goal, try to get that done. That'll finish the roof, and then I can go on and start sanding and getting it ready for paint. Okay, I'm making decent progress. I've basically got the driver's side done. I ground this. I haven't ground that down yet. The grinding down is the hardest part because this metal is so thin where it is. When you grind the welded area, you don't want to hit that area, the old area, because it's so thin. So I'm going to really try to take my time and get that pretty smooth. But I'm going to jump over to the other side now, which I show you, which I think is going to be worse than this side. I think I'm going to have to cut a whole piece out. I don't know until I get through the paint, but I'll go look at that. Okay, on this side, I haven't taken a wire wheel to it, but I think this side's going to be much worse than the other side. All my years of experience has taught me. I think all these little, tiny little rust bubbles here. The other side didn't have as many. So I think once I grind through this, I'm going to probably end up with a big hole all the way across there. So I may do one big patch here, maybe. But I mean, I got to explore it, but pretty sure this is going to be all ate out a little bit around the corner. Maybe I'll get lucky and the front will be better, but anyway, let me get to grind this and see what's under this paint. I got kind of lucky. There's less rot in the front. The corner's about the same, but this is rotted out pretty bad here, so I think I'm just going to cut a big section out and try to replace the whole panel right there. So we'll go ahead and get this started. Okay, I got everything welded up, all the front here and the whole side welded up. It welded up pretty smooth. It went pretty good, pretty happy with it. I got to grind it down, but I want to come in here when I'm fresh and I'm not tired. Grinding it's the hardest part, really. So got a little bit of warpage in it, but I'll just put a little filler on it to get that done. But anyway, this is where I'm going to stop this video. On the next video, we'll finish up the top and we'll start working on the inside to get the inside painted. So anyway, thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next one.